Presiding officer will request the Honorable Manuel to please stick to the budget.
Mr. Speaker, I challenge the point of order. Mr. Speaker, ang pinag-uusapan po natin ay budget
You
para sa
cannot
PNP
challenge
at sa
the
AFP. Mr.
decision of
Speaker,
the chair.
pupuntahan ba natin ang ganitong pagtutulong?
Session is suspended.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the sponsor yield to many questions?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Una pong topic ay ang pagdukot sa binabansagang Orion 2. Sila po ay sina Jed at Junila, dalawang kabataang kababaihan. Nabanggit po natin ito last in some privileged speech, Mr. Speaker. Kahapon din nabanggit natin dahil finally ay wala na po sa kamay ng NTF-ELCAC at ng militar ang dalawa. At mismo sa isang press conference organized by NTF-ELCAC, sinabi po ng dalawa na sila ay inabduct. Walang iba kundi ng militar. Would the AFP admit to abducting the two young women, Mr. Speaker?
No, Mr. Speaker, and the AFP plans to file perjury cases or charges against the two, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, we are so shocked with that kind of response from the AFP. Ano po ang batayan na sampahan ng kaso ang dalawang matapang na kababaihan na inabduct na nga nila at illegal na dinetain sa military camp? Hindi natin alam kung anong tipo ng panlilinlang yung ginawa sa kanila or coercion para mapuwersa sila na pumirma sa affidavit. At ngayon, na matapang nilang isiniwalat ang nangyari sa kanila, Mr. Speaker, sila pa ang sasampahan ng perjury. Ano po ang komento doon ng ating sponsor?
Mr. Speaker, there are witnesses who were there during the signing of said affidavit. Not only of voluntary surrender, as well as the signing of said affidavit. The POW lawyers were there. The stepfather of one of the ladies were there. And they were even asked if they were coerced into signing by her stepfather, and she denied being coerced, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, sa aktual na insidente, early September, meron pong mga kababayan natin na nakawitness ng pagdukot. Pagdukot, Mr. Speaker, dahil may naiwang sandals, may naiwang tsinelas, at mismo mga kababayan natin ang nag-post sa social media. At gusto nga nilang ipaalam din sa ibang mga kababayan nila nung panahon na iyon sa Bulacan na may ganong nangyari at ayaw nila na baka may iba ding mabiktima ng pagdukot, kahit sino man yan, Mr. Speaker. And now, how can we expect such an affidavit to really bear weight, lalo na kung nangyari po ang pagpirma sa affidavit sa isang setting kung saan ang mga kababaihan na ito, mga kabataang kababaihan, ay nasa isang sitwasyon na vulnerable po sila. Nasa lugar sila ng kung sino man yung nag-abduct mismo sa kanila, Mr. Speaker. Ano po ang komento doon ng sponsor?
Mr. Speaker, again, there were witnesses during the signing of said affidavit. The stepfather was there, the POW lawyers were there, and I don't think there were they were in any environment that they were vulnerable, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, hindi ba yun isang unfair na situation? Dahil nga, kinuli sila, tapos ang una pa pong kwento na gustong palabasin ng NTF-ELCAC at ng militar ay mga rebel surrendery di umano yung dalawa. Tapos, Mr. Speaker, all this time na hinahanap natin yung dalawang kabataang kababaihan, nandun pala sila sa kamay ng militar. Tapos, ang gustong palitawin ngayon ay all this time, voluntary po at walang nangyaring undue na impluensya doon sa dalawa. And right now, na alam na po ng sambayan ng Pilipino na inabduct pala talaga sila, tingin po natin, Mr. Speaker, sobra-sobra na. Yung pinagdaanan ng dalawa na isolated po sila, hindi nila kasama ang kanilang mga mahal sa buhay, tapos later on na lang, also in unfair circumstances, ay ganito na ang kinalabasan, Mr. Speaker, na sila pa yung hahabulin. Actually, Mr. Speaker, yung pagsiwalat nila nung pinagdaanan nila kahit na kasama nila yung militar sa press conference kahapon, Mr. Speaker. Yan na nga po ay malaking risk na tinake nila para lamang na malaman ng sambayanang Pilipino na ang AFP ay nandudukot ng mga kabataang merong advokasya, Mr. Speaker. Ang dalawang kabataang kababaihan na ito, ang nais lamang nila ay maprotektahan ang mga komunidad na maaapektuhan ng mga reclamation activities sa Manila Bay. At Mr. Speaker, ngayon na sila walang kalaban-laban, walang mga armas, ang tanging armas nila, Mr. Speaker, ang kanilang prinsipyo, ang kanilang dignidad, ang pagmamahal nila sa kapwa-tao. Tapos ngayon, pinaratangan sila, gustong palabasin ng mga rebel surrenderies. And right now, that they spoke the truth, they were brave enough to do that. At actually nga, kahit nawala na po sila sa kamay ng militar, di natin alam kung ano din yung threat sa kanila. Dahil po sa dinami-dami ng mga pinalabas na mga rebel surrenderies, ngayon po, meron ng matapang na nagsalita. Mr. Speaker, ano po ang komento ng sponsor?
Mr. Speaker, they were labeled as voluntary surrenderies because they said they voluntarily surrendered. Again, there were witnesses, Mr. Speaker. They made a sworn statement, which of course, if you made a sworn statement and you recanted, Mr. Speaker, you will be subjected to perjury charges if needed. You know, Mr. Speaker, the DND, the AFP, has always believed that honesty is the currency of leadership, Mr. Speaker. It is most critical today that the truth prevails because mistrust seems to have been the default mode or reaction, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, we stand with our Philippine Army, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, grabe naman po ang militar sa mga biktima. Mr. Speaker, mga biktima na po ito. Tapos, sila pa ngayon ang papalabasin natin na masama. Mr. Speaker, hindi ba kapag ang mga biktima sa situation na sila ay nasa risk at mayroon po silang sinabi, kahit nga po halimbawa ang mga taong malapit ng mamatay, di ba? Hindi ba kinukuha as valid na testimony yung kanilang sinasabi? Mr. Speaker, taking that as an analogy, ganun po ang nangyari kahapon sa press conference. Kung wala pong mali. Mr. Speaker,
they
bakit
were not-
tinake down ng NTF-ELCAC ang video ng press conference right after na nag-admit ang dalawang kababaihan na inabduct sila ng militar? Ano po ang paliwanag? Bakit tinake down ang video ng press conference na live na nangyayari?
Well, Mr. Speaker, the NTF-ELCAC is not within this department, Mr. Speaker. But if you are talking about taking down of videos, I believe it is all over social media. So there is no taking down of any videos.
Mr. Speaker, that is a lie. Mr. Speaker, marami pong nag-abang sa press conference dahil nga gusto nilang malaman mula mismo sa bibig ng dalawa kung ano ang kanilang sasabihin. Kung sila ay bibigay doon sa label sa kanila ng NTF-ELCAC na sila ay mga rebel surrenderies o sasabihin nila ang katotohanan. And they chose the second, Mr. Speaker. At marami pong nakakita na nasa social media ang press conference at kailangan din po itong masagot ng ating sponsor, Mr. Speaker, kasi katabi po, literally, katabi ng dalawa ay isang military personnel na nung nagsasalita na po ang ating mga kapwa-kabataan na sila ay inabduct, sinubukan pa po ng militar na gumawa pa ng panibagong kwento na okay, kung inabduct kayo, baka ibang tao yung nag-abduct. Pero Mr. Speaker, galing mismo sa dalawang kababaihan, wala pong iba kundi militar yung nag-abduct sa kanila. At matapos po nilang sabihin yon, tinake down ang live stream ng press conference. Kaya Mr. Speaker, malinaw na merong tinatago dito ang militar natin. Kasapakat ang NTF-ELCAC.
Mr. Speaker, the DND or the AFP was not the one who made the press conference. So it is a lie.
Pero sila po ang
It is not
nag-abduct,
correct to
Mr.
say that we
Speaker.
are lying, that we did not take down the video, because we have not taken down any video, Mr. Speaker. The AFP, the DND was not the one who organized said press conference, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, hindi po sila ang nag-organize ng press conference, Mr. Speaker, dahil ang kanilang pinagkakaabalahan na po ay paano nila pagtatakpan ang ginawa nilang abduction doon sa dalawang kabataang kababaihan na ang meron lamang sila ay ang advokasya nila na ipagtanggol ang mga fisherfolk communities, ang mga mahihirap na mga komunidad na apektado ng reclamation sa Manila Bay.
Mr.
Kaya,
Speaker, the department continues to deny any alleged abduction or harassment, Mr. Speaker, because of the presence of several witnesses, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, again, unfair po ang sitwasyon kung saan napuwersa na pumirma doon sa affidavit ang dalawa. At galing na rin po mismo sa bunganga ng ating mga biktima, Mr. Speaker, ang naging sitwasyon noong sila ay pinapirma ng affidavit.
And Mr. Speaker, galing din po sa bunganga ng tatay ng isa po ng mga babae na yon na voluntarily nag-surrender po sila.
Mr. Speaker, ang mga kabataan na ito, hindi na po sila mga bata. Mr. Speaker, they are above 18, 20 plus na po sila, kaya kaya po nilang mag-isip on their own. Sana po hindi maliitin ng AFP ang kapasidad ng ating mga kabataan na magsalita on their own. Mr. Speaker, nakakapagod na all this time ang tingin nila sa mga kabataan na meron lamang mga gustong gawin, sumasali sa organizations, walang sariling isip. At ngayon, Mr. Speaker, na meron ng nagde-debunk ng narrative ng AFP sa dinami-dami ng mga rebel surrenderies, ngayon meron ng tumindig. Ganito na ang kanilang gustong palitawin, Mr. Speaker. Kaya kung paninindigan ng AFP ang kanilang gawa-gawang kwento, at ngayon sasabihin po nila sa publiko, nakikita po ng ating mga viewers, kita po ng mamamayang Pilipino na yun pa yung balak nila, Mr. Speaker, sampahan ng perjury, yung dalawa. Let's see, Mr. Speaker, saan papanig ang opinyon ng publiko bago pa maghabi na naman ng dagdag na mga kwento ang ating AFP. Mr. Speaker, I'll proceed to another topic which is actually related. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to confirm, meron po bang Command and General Staff College sa ilalim ng AFP?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, sa ilalim ng Command and General Staff College, meron po bang Center for Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, tama po ba na bahagi nito si Sherhana Paiso?
The lady may now, the sponsoring committee may now proceed.
Mr. Speaker, said Sherhana Paiso is now with the Strategic Management Office, Mr. Speaker.
So still, Mr. Speaker, Sherhana Paiso is with AFP.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, in a document drafted by Sherhana Paiso, bahagi po ng tactics ng Center for Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism ay ang tinatawag nilang soft approach over hard approach. They have the desire to offer the possibility of responding to violent radicalization in ways other than the criminal justice system. Dahil sa dami po ng mga kinakaso nila sa mga alleged recruiter di umano, lahat naman po nadidismiss. Mr. Speaker, part din ng kanilang gustong gawin ay, I quote, psychosocial counseling. Mr. Speaker, ang outputs ng research ng center as drafted by Sherhana Paiso ay magiging bahagi ng contribution ng AFP sa whole of nation approach to end the local communist armed conflict. Bahagi nun, Mr. Speaker, ay ang pag-produce or research ng concepts and proposals that would serve as valuable inputs of AFP to the overall strategic direction based heavily on scientific academic theories and discourse. Mr. Speaker, in the upcoming moments, papakita po natin na walang kahit anong scientific sa mga gagawin ng AFP to prevent the violent extremism as they claim. Ito, Mr. Speaker, bahagi ng kanilang gagawin to prevent violent extremism among the youth is to produce a syllabus for CHED and DepEd to counter what they call NPA subjects. NPA subjects, based on their document, include Philippine history, national situation, world situation. Mr. Speaker, would our sponsor agree that Philippine history, national situation, and world situation are NPA subjects?
Mr. Speaker, these are being used by the NPA, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, ibig sabihin ba ang pag-aaral ng kasaysayan, ng kalagayan ng bansa at ng mundo ay para mag-recruit ng mga rebelde? Paano ang mga kabataan na gusto nating turuan ng kasaysayan? Paano yung mga kabataang gusto lamang malaman ano ang nangyayari sa bayan natin? To address corruption, to address inflation, to address poverty. Para po ba yan sa recruitment ng mga rebelde?
Mr. Speaker, the youth of today are very vulnerable. Misinformation is one of the threats to our society. The goal of misinformation, Mr. Speaker, is not simply to misinform, but sometimes it is to manipulate our thinking, the actions, to serve somebody else's agenda. If these youths are vulnerable, I believe they will be vulnerable to misinformation, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, modesty aside, summa cum laude po ako. Hindi ako bobo. Mr. Speaker, insulto sa kabataan na ang turing ng AFP sa ganitong mga topics ay para sa recruitment papunta sa mga rebelde, Mr. Speaker. Pag ganun, Mr. Speaker, anong aasahan natin sa mga kabataan na hindi alam ano ang nangyayari sa bansa, ano ang nangyayari sa mundo, at ano ang ating kasaysayan? Mr. Speaker, to add, bahagi ng syllabus na gustong gawin ng center na ito at ibibigay sa CHED at DepEd ay benefits of martial law to the economy. Mr. Speaker, ano ang pagtingin doon ng ating sponsor? Ano ang naging benefits ng martial law ng diktador na si Marcos Sr. sa ekonomiya ng ating bansa?
Mr. Speaker, the hope of the department is to present a balanced view. It is also imperative, Mr. Speaker, that the youth of today will be informed of what happened in the past and the learnings of the past, Mr. Speaker. If this is about ROTC, Mr. Speaker, again, we have answered this during the budget briefing, that the curriculum or the instruction of the ROTC program is not under the DND, it is still under the lead agency, which is the Commission on Higher Education. The AFP or the DND will only join the ROTC program depending on the bill that will be passed by Congress, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, bahagi ba ng balance na pag-aaral ng martial law ng diktador na si Marcos Sr. na gugunitain natin bukas ay ang pagbagsak ng ekonomiya dahil sa paglobo ng utang na ating bansa, dahil sa cut sa social services nung panahon ng diktadura? Bahagi po ba nun ang gutom na dinanas ng mga taga-Negros dahil sa famine? Bahagi po ba ng balance na pagtuturo ng martial law ay ang mahabang pila ng mga kababayan natin na hindi makabili ng bigas dahil sa palpak na tugon ng Marcos Sr. Administration, na parang nangyayari ngayon, sa krisis sa supply ng bigas? Mr. Speaker, actually, hindi ko na nga po sana gagawing topic yung ROTC. Pero nabanggit po ng ating sponsor.
But Mr.
Kung
Speaker,
ganito,
I'd like to mention
Mr. Speaker, I
that
am
the
still
study that he
speaking.
mentioned
I still have
earlier
the
is
floor.
not even the
Mr.
stand
Speaker, I would
of
like
the
to
DND,
speak.
Mr.
Hindi pa
Speaker.
po ako tapos sa pagsagot.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
What is the point of order of the majority leader?
Mr. Speaker, while we respect the sponsor as well as the interpellator in the ideas that they share, let's stick to the budget of the Armed Forces as well as the Department of National Defense for the 2024 fiscal year. May I request that we practice decorum in the deliberation of the budget. The Honorable Manuel has 11 minutes, and I hope that he will use it, and the sponsor will answer all his pertinent questions accordingly. The interpellator has the floor after he finishes his proposed question on ROTC. The sponsor may answer.
There is a point of order. The presiding officer will request the Honorable Manuel to please stick to the budget.
Mr. Speaker, I challenge the point of order. Mr. Speaker, ang pinag-uusapan po natin ay budget
You
para
cannot
sa
challenge
at sa
the
AFP. Mr.
decision
Speaker,
of the chair.
pupuntahan ba natin ang ganitong pagtuturo?
Session is suspended. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The point of order stays, and we have an understanding between the interpellator and the sponsor. I hope that the Honorable Manuel will continue with his interpellation.
The gentleman may now proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are raising this topic, Mr. Speaker, dahil nga kung matuloy ang mandatory ROTC at ganito ang framework ng AFP na hindi pa established na bahagi sila ng pagtuturo sa ating mga estudyante, paano na po kapag bahagi na sila ng curriculum and instruction kapag nangyari na ang mandatory ROTC? And we really can't accept na state-sponsored ang disinformation dahil mismo ating state institutions ang may ganong pagtingin sa martial law ng diktador na si Marcos Sr. Mr. Speaker, to proceed to another topic, but still related to how the AFP treats our young people. Mr. Speaker, based on the same document that outlines the plans of the Center for Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism, tingin po nila, Mr. Speaker, ay meron lamang Stockholm Syndrome. Ito po, nasa document po natin, Mr. Speaker. Meron lang daw Stockholm Syndrome ang mga kabataang merong advokasya. Sila lang daw po ay nalilinlang. They have conditioned or altered thinking. Sila po ay nabiktima ng classical conditioning. Mr. Speaker, dahil daw sa hindi pa develop ang kanilang critical thinking skills. And Mr. Speaker, the same set of documents tell that Sharhana Paiso is actually engaged in what we call neuro-linguistic programming. Mr. Speaker, nabanggit po sa same document that neuro-linguistic programming wants to encourage people to change a person's state of mind through words and questions. Neuro-linguistic programming is a mind technology that uses understanding from practices like psychology and hypnosis. Mr. Speaker, ito po ba ang ginagawa ng AFP sa mga inabduct at linggo-linggo na nakadetain sa kanila bago nila ilabas as rebel surrenderies ang mga kabataan? Since neuro-linguistic programming includes mind reading, having a formula for hypnosis, hypnotic revivification, fast phobia cure. At ang nagtuturo po nito ngayon sa Pilipinas ay ang first and biggest community of NLP practitioners and hypnotists in the Philippines. Ano po ang komento ng sponsor?
Mr. Speaker, said study is merely a study, Mr. Speaker. It is not the policy of the department nor the policy of the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Mr. Speaker, based sa background ni Sharhana Paiso, ang kanya pong tinapos ay degrees na related sa psychology. Mr. Speaker, BA Social Science, major in Social Anthropology, minor in Psychology. Ang master's po niya, MS Psychology, major in Clinical Psychology. Mr. Speaker, dito po ba ina-apply ni Sharhana Paiso at ng AFP ang paggamit ng psychology pagdating sa approach nila sa mga rebel surrenderies. Yung i-abduct po sila, tapos itatago ng matagal, papapirmahin ng mga affidavit na gawa-gawa, tapos isasubject sa kung ano-anong psychological tactics, i-hypnotize bago ilabas as rebel surrenderies.
As stated earlier, Mr. Speaker, it is merely a study. It is not the policy of the department nor the AFP, and there is no abduction, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the AFP in its psychological war tactics, it applies the lens of psychology sa paano daw nila i-handle ang mga ina-abduct nila o hawak nila ng mga kabataan. Pati na rin dun sa mga tingin nila ay vulnerable. Kasi nga, tingin naman nila ang kabataan, walang kakaya mag-isip. Tingin nila, vulnerable ang kabataan. Ginagamitan po ng psychology. Mr. Speaker, tingin natin, contrary sa claim ng Center for Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism na scientific po and academic ang kanilang approach, Mr. Speaker, there is nothing scientific about this. Mr. Speaker, ito po ay pag-bastardize ng social sciences. Mr. Speaker, ito ay in effect, pagwawaldas sa pera na nilalaan sa ating mga institusyon na instead na protektahan po, batay sa kanilang mandato, protektahan ang mamamayan at kasama doon protektahan ang mga kabataan, galangin ang karapatan ng lahat. Pero ang nangyayari po kung sino yung mga gusto lamang na igiit ang kanilang karapatan, sa sahod man yan, sa mas maayos na pamumuhay, sila po ay tinuturing ng mga rebelde at sila po ay isasubject sa ganitong mga tipo ng taktika, which includes abducting them, subjecting them to psychological torture, hypnotizing them before presenting them in such kind of situations kagaya ng press conference na nangyari kahapon. Mr. Speaker, on another topic, on the West Philippine Sea, Mr. Speaker, recently ay merong US Maritime Surveillance Aircraft, bahagi po ito ng US Navy, na nasa West Philippine Sea. Mr. Speaker, bahagi po ba ito ng independent foreign policy? Ano po ang ginagawa ng Estados Unidos sa West Philippine Sea? Given that it shouldn't even be a party to what's happening sa iba't ibang mga territorial claims sa West Philippine Sea. What is the comment of the sponsor, Mr. Speaker?
As part of international law, Mr. Speaker, there's freedom over flight on those seas, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, hindi ba ang ginagawa ng United States ay pag-assert lang ng kanyang hegemony? Mr. Speaker, for the longest time, it has been the United States na ang pagtingin sa sarili ay para siyang global police. It has military bases in various parts of the globe. Many compared dun sa military bases ng ibang mga bansa. And Mr. Speaker, while we want to defend the West Philippine Sea against China, bakit po ginagamit itong issue na ito ng United States to fortify its stronghold on the Philippines? What is the comment of the sponsor?
Mr. Speaker, first of all, there is freedom of navigation and freedom of overflight based on international law, Mr. Speaker. And if we are talking about the EDCA sites, Mr. Speaker, the Philippines retains sovereignty and control over these locations, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, taon-taon tumataas ang AFP modernization budget. Ano pong bahagi ng budget para sa 2024 ay gagamitin para i-secure at i-monitor ang West Philippine Sea?
A few minutes suspension, Mr. Speaker.
Session is suspended. Session is resumed.
Mr. Speaker, in answer to the question, Mr. Speaker, there is no separate budget for that. It is integrated in the MOOE and the capital outlay of the department, Mr. Speaker, and as well as in the PS, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, edi tingnan na lang po natin ang breakdown ng paggamit ng confidential and intelligence funds ng DND family. Can the sponsor give us the best estimate sa kabuang confidential and intelligence funds? Ano po ang breakdown ng paggamit nun? Gaano kalaki yung ginagamit sa insurgency? Gaano karaming ginagamit sa territorial defense for the West Philippine Sea and other purposes?
Mr. Speaker,
The
that is
chair would
last...
like to remind the gentleman from Kabataan that you have less than 2 minutes left to start winding up. Sponsoring Vice Chair, may now proceed.
Mr. Speaker, those are classified information, Mr. Speaker.
So Mr. Speaker, hindi natin din masasabi, halimbawa, half sa insurgency, half sa West Philippine Sea, or kalakhan sa West Philippine Sea. Can't we get even such a general comment from our sponsor?
Mr. Speaker, those are classified information because if we state it here, Mr. Speaker, the enemies of the state will know.
Mr. Speaker, actually, ang question ko po would give the defense sector a chance to really show kung ano ang priorities. Kasi Mr. Speaker, if kalakhan nun ay ginagamit para sa territorial defense against those who encroach on our territory sa West Philippine Sea, then actually, hindi ito magiging debatable na topic. Pero if hindi pala din tayo makukumbinsi na ang prioritization ng paggamit ng confidential and intelligence funds ay para dun sa territorial defense, then questions will linger. And nandyan ang posibilidad na kahit sinasabing patapos na ang armed conflict sa ating bansa, still malaki ang gagastusin natin sa 2024 national budget para sa counterinsurgency. Mr. Speaker, may ilan na lang din tayo mga data requests na hiningi sa Department of National Defense pero hindi pa nila na ipapasa sa ating opisina as of the moment. Magkano po ang ginastos at balak gastusin para sa mga bomba, para sa drones? Kaya Mr. Speaker, at the right time, I might ask that the deliberations on the budget of the DND be deferred. No? And to wrap up, Mr. Speaker, my respect for my colleague maintains even after our heated discussion, but I still have a lot to ask and to raise
That is
to our security sector, which recently has been proven to be abductors of young people. Thank you, Mr.
Speaker, I
Speaker.
commit to bring the information to the gentleman as long as those information are not classified as confidential, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.